See, the problem that people do is you get in God's way. You tell God what you want, then you mess up and tell him how you want him to do it. All you got to do is write down what you want. Because the scripture says this, write the vision and make it plain so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it take a long time, wait for it. For surely it will come at an appointed time. You got to keep the faith. It's going to happen. See, my first vision board I wrote when I was 10, I wrote, I want to be on TV. I read it. I flunked out of school. I've been living in a car for 3 years, but I kept reading my paper. Guess what? I'm on TV. Now I wrote it at 10. I did not get on TV till I was 38. I'm telling you this, how this works. Success ain't a magic trick. It's a set of principles. People in here way smarter than me. People in here got way more degrees than me. The Bible says a man without a dream or vision shall perish. So guess what? You can't outvision me. Don't let nobody outdream you, and don't let nobody outwork you. That's how you get the life of your dreams. I bet you if you write it down, God don't say nothing he don't make true. This world gonna end one day. You ain't got to believe that. You can say it ain't no God. But guess what? The sun come up tomorrow. You can't stop it. It go down in the evening. You can't shut it off. Go up there and stop the wind. See what happened to you. Go up there and cut that sun off. See what happened. You're going to roast your ass like a nut.
All the circumstances say, if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. But what God promised you doesn't have an expiration date. You may have done things that should keep your dream from coming to pass. But God is so merciful, He's already taken your mistakes into account. But too often, we disqualify ourselves. We think it would have happened if I'd finished school, if I'd not got involved with the wrong crowd, then God would bless me. That would be true if God was like us. He is full of mercy. He doesn't cancel our destiny because we got off course. And the good news is God has mercy for every mistake, a comeback for every setback. What He's promised you is still on the way. It may seem unlikely. You may not see how you could ever get out of debt. God is saying increase is coming. What you touch will prosper and succeed. Quit believing the lies that it's too late. The problem is too big. God is called the author and the finisher of your faith. The delay doesn't mean it's not going to happen. The circumstances may look impossible, but God hasn't run out of options. He has ways we've never thought of. He's not limited by your job, by what you didn't get. One good break and what He promised you will come to pass. Sometimes God will put promises in your heart that don't make sense to your mind. The key is to let the seed take root. You don't have to figure out how it's going to happen. All you have to do is believe. You may have delayed it, but you didn't deny it. God hasn't changed His mind. You may not see anything happening, but God is still working. What He promised you is still on the way. The enemy is called the accuser of the brethren. He'll remind you of everything you've done wrong. He'd love for you to go through life down on yourself, no dreams, no passion, no expectancy. Don't fall into that trap. Are you believing lies that you've missed your chance? If you'd have been more disciplined, God already knew about that. What He promised you is right on schedule. You didn't miss it. It's still in your future. Now, you may have failed, but you are not a failure. Failure is an event. It's not who you are. What you do may not always be good, but you are good. You may have gotten off course. You may have brought the trouble on yourself, but God is saying, I'm still going to bless you. I'm still going to use you to help others. You're still going to fulfill your destiny. What I promised you is still on the way. Those dreams you've given up on, they're on the way. I don't see anything happening right now, but God, I know you are working behind the scenes. What you promised me is still right on schedule. You may feel like you're lacking in some area, lacking talent, lacking support, but God knows what you don't have. He knows who's not for you. The good news is God is going to make up for what you don't have. He's going to give you the seed. And sometimes on purpose, God will let you run out of what you need so you'll have to depend on Him. If you don't turn my child around, if you don't open this door, if you don't heal my body, God, then I'm done. When you come to the end of your ability, then there's room for God's favor. There's room for Him to show out in your life. Don't let the circumstances fool you. Don't let what you don't have talk you out of it. The delays, the seasons of silence convince you that it's never going to happen. He's going to bless you in spite of your mistakes. He's going to make things happen that you didn't deserve. It's just the goodness of God. And I'm all for taking risks, getting out of our comfort zones, but it's important to stay in God's timing. Quit believing those lies that you can't accomplish your dreams. Look what you've done. Never get out of debt. You made too many poor choices. What God promised you is still on the way. It's still on the schedule. Start believing again. Start making plans for what you've given up on.
You've got to keep dreaming. Your better future. Dream for yourself and for your family. You've got to dream dreams. There's a Bible phrase that says, without dreams and visions, people perish.
You have a strong sense of self, that gives your life a sense of purpose. Your life has a sense of purpose, that gives your life a sense of direction. The 40-40 plan is gone, where you can go to college and graduate and get a job and work 40 hours a week doing the same thing for 40 years. That's gone. People that are hungry are uncommon people. They are saying yes to their dreams. People that are hungry have a vision of themselves when they leave here, leaving a legacy and not liabilities. Most people die at age 25 and don't get buried till they're 65 because they're not willing to take a chance on themselves. I said, God, let me touch and change millions of people's lives. Let me make my mark. Let me touch hearts and minds. Let me be an instrument to give people hope, to inspire them to expand their skill set. God, let me live a life that counts. God, help me live a life that matters. God, give me the stamina and the vision to use my gift that you have given me to work with people who are hungry to make their lives count. My mother's dream was to raise 7 children she didn't have. And she never failed. We never went to sleep hungry. She's a hard worker and she had faith. I remember the first home I bought her and I said, Mama, how you? He said, if I lived in something like that, I would feel like Mrs. Rockefeller. I purchased the home and I said, Mama, I think I know the people who live there. I said, I'm going to stop in and say hello. She looked at how beautiful this house was. She said, Leslie, you sure you know these people? And we got to the door. I reached in my pocket, I took the key out and I put it in the door. I said, Mrs. Rockefeller, this is your home. This is going to happen for you. It's already happened for some of you.
If the truth be told, we were being totally honest. Most of us don't like waiting. Particularly if we're waiting for something to change or something to get better. Waiting can be a very frustrating experience. But the worst kind of waiting of all is waiting on God. When God forces you to wait for things to get better in your life, for things to improve, to change, to reverse, and nothing is happening. And yet, over and over and over again in the Bible, we're told to wait on the Lord.
The most difficult place for you to be in life is in God's waiting room. In God's waiting room. Some of you are in God's waiting room right now. What is God's waiting room? When you're in a hurry for something to happen and God isn't. That's God's waiting room. Some of you are in a hurry to graduate. Some of you are in a hurry to get married. Some of you are in a hurry to start a family. Some of you are in a hurry to launch a new business, to close a big deal. Some of you are in a hurry for a big goal, a big dream, a big accomplishment. Some of you are in a hurry for all kinds of different things, and God isn't.
And one reason we get in a hurry is we think we're falling behind. Our friend is getting married. Our coworker got promoted. The neighbors moved into a new house. We got to make things happen. We're being left out. Well, here's the key. What has your name on it will not go to anyone else.
We don't like to trust somebody else's timing. Why? Because we lose control. And so we'd rather than trust God, because trusting God means, my goodness, I actually have to trust God. We'd rather go, listen, I like the plan and purpose you have for my life, but can we do it my way? And here's the funny thing. Now that I'm a parent, I recognize in my children that they don't like it to wait on my timing. They don't like to wait. They don't like to chill and be patient. But the thing is, if they would just trust my timing, they would recognize it's for their good. It's for them to be blessed and prosperous. And so you can live life frustrated, anxious, stressed out, angry, or you can rest and go, God, I have to trust in your timing.
Another thing you have to learn in life is that a delay is not a denial. There's a big difference between no and not yet. Now, immature children don't know the difference. You tell a kid, not yet, they start crying and having a hissy fit because they think it means no. They don't understand a delay is not a denial.
We all have things that we're waiting for. Problem to turn around. When it's taking longer than we thought, it's easy to get discouraged, to become impatient. But sometimes it's not happening because we're not prepared for what God has prepared. You need more time to grow, to develop, to gain experience. Patience is developed in the wait room. Before you see what God promised, God will send you to the wait room. You may not like it. Other people are in the game, making progress. You're stuck waiting. You may not see anything changing, but something is happening. Patience is working. You're growing, developing, getting you prepared so you can sustain what God has coming. Don't get discouraged because it's not happening as fast as you would like. When He knows you're ready, what you give birth to is going to be much bigger than you've imagined. Maybe you've been praying, being your best, but you don't see anything changing. Have a new perspective. You're in the wait room. You're not falling behind. God has you right where He wants you. Now do your part and wait with a good attitude. Thank you that what you promised is on the way. If you will wait with the right attitude, after patience has done its work, you're going to see promises come to pass.
Don't allow a moment of agony to make you draw a conclusion about life prematurely. Because if you just keep on walking with God, God has a way of making everything all right. But he warns us that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Now, the term steps implies process. It means it's going to take a while. Because a blessing given too soon is not a blessing at all. I can give my son the car keys now, but had I given it to him when he was 5, it would not have been a blessing at all. He can't handle it. So would I be a good father if I gave him a good thing too soon? Sometimes my goodness is proven by my ability to say not yet.
You see, while you're working on your project, your goal, your dream, your vision, God's working on you. And God's much more interested in you than in what you're trying to accomplish. Because you're not taking your accomplishments to heaven, but you are taking your character. And sometimes God says, yeah, I intend to give you what I've promised you. I intend to answer that prayer. I intend to fulfill the vision, but you're not ready yet. I want you to grow, and when you're ready, then it's going to happen.
And I'll admit, I don't like to wait. I like to make progress. I like to get things done. But I've learned some things take time. So much is developed in the process. When you're doing the right thing, but nothing's changing. Remember, something is happening. You're growing. You may not like it, but you can't bypass the process. David said, God, my times are in your hands. I not only trust your ways, but I trust your timing. When I'm ready, when I can handle it, you will take me to new levels of my destiny. Something may have your name on it. You know God has put it in your heart. But if it happens too soon, the blessing will become a burden. Sometimes God proves His love to us by what He's not letting us have. We just have to spend more time in the weight room, growing, learning to trust God, learning to keep a good attitude when things aren't going our way. The sooner we pass these tests, the sooner God will release what belongs to us.
You can never lose faith. When you don't see no way how, you have to buckle down and keep believing. God is always coming. The moment you ask God for something, He boxes it up and He ships it to you. It's going to come. He just don't tell you when. But He don't tell you when the package is going to arrive. So here's the deal. He wants you to stay in faith to receive the package. Because He only delivers to Faith Street. That's how it works, man. Let me tell y'all something. Being successful is not a magic trick. You just have to learn the principles of success. I am telling you, your education ain't got nothing to do with it. Now, when you gonna ask Him for it, and are you gonna wait for it to happen? Or are you gonna lose faith? Well, I guess it wasn't the Lord's will. How you know what God's will is? It all happens at an appointed time. But you have to stay in faith for the appointed time to happen for you.
Life is too short to hang around people that are causing you to compromise, pulling you down. Your time is too valuable to waste it with people that don't have a dream, people that are going anywhere. You don't have to make some big announcement, but little by little you should spend less and less time with them. Well, Jules, what if I hurted their feelings? What if you get upset? What if you miss your destiny? What if they are keeping you from going the next level? When you come to the ends of life, you won't stand before people, you will stand before God. He has entrusted you with a gift and you have assignments. There are some things for you to have a responsibility to become who God's created you to be. You have to take bold steps to protect what you are feeding those co-workers that are negative and critical. Instead of going to lunch with them every day, the right attitude is love you, but I'm going to hang around you.